Hello. So this is a question that arises sometimes. So how many validators and how many nodes are in a network? And the answer is simple. In order to see the validators, you can just go to xrpscan.com/validators. We can see here in total we've got 167 validators. And out of these 167 validators, 39 are in the let's call it overlapping UNL. So we've got UNL, we've got actually 3 UNLs which are in place more or less, which are being used. And so out of these 3 UNLs, we've got an overlap of 39 validators. And I also want to highlight each validator manages his own UNL, meaning that, for example, this validator from the University of, I'm not quite sure, somewhere in Australia, could also, for example, add this validator to his UNL. But the other ones, the other 38, wouldn't listen to this one because they would also have to add him. So the overlap of it's important that all the validators, which are more or less recognized by all the others, are that the overlap is quite high. So I think it's being told that it should be over 90%. But let's continue. So we've got, like I said, 167 validators, and we've got in total 901 nodes. So as we might know, you can run the Ripple D server in different modes. So it can be just the only difference here is you can run a Ripple D node as a validator, or just as a normal node which also participates in the network. But these ones are, for example, for processing requests, if I don't misspeak here. So we're just gonna go to so I'm just gonna go to XRPL validator more or less. So we can just look one more time at the page here, so we don't talk nonsense. So let's quickly look at it. So as we can see here, we can run a Ripple D server, the Ripple D server as validator. Um, but we can also run it in. So there's different modes somewhere there. X Ripple D modes, Ripple D modes. Server modes, yeah, it's the server modes page. My bad. So we can run right. So as you can see here, we can run the Ripple D server in the peer-to-peer mode, and therefore either it can be a validator, an API server, or also a hub server. So here we can see all the different meanings to that. So a hub server is messages between many other members of the peer-to-peer network. The API server provides API access to read data from the shared ledger, submit transactions. So this one is, for example, so if it's an API server, then this is, for example, a place where for example, if you send a transaction, this is the place where the transaction goes to the API server, and then it's being sent. Right, and these are being submitted. This can be a full history server, so there are also like full nodes or full history servers. So because not all the validators or all the nodes need to know the entire history, and we feel also, so like I said, it can be run uh, to do any or all, right? So it can do all 3 of those, only one of those. So you can configure, like I said, in the multiple modes. So it can be validator and be an API server, or it can be only an API server, only or in a hub server, and so on. And that's basically how these things can be run. And so in this case, the only difference is that the nodes are not being run as a validator. So they are not participating in the consensus process. And right, so it depends how you configure the Ripple D server. Okay, I hope I didn't speak here, because basically also nodes participate more or less, but their vote doesn't count. Um, but let's continue here. So, like I said, we've got 167 validators, we've got 890 nodes, so we can see here also the geographical map. We can see the IP addresses of all the nodes. We can see how many how many connections are open. Um, right, and the last thing here, so you can also see which version the most values have here. Alright, so therefore we do now know that we've got 900 nodes, about 900 nodes, 167 validators, meaning that we've got 1067 Ripple D servers running in the network, And right, so that's a lot. That's not like the misconception like that there are only like 10 or 20 or whatever. Right. So thanks for watching and see you in the next one.